Well, now this is Baruch. Let me see if I can get our picture back. Here we go, back over here to where we were yesterday, and we finished off over here on number Yud Tes. And we're going to take a look at the little bit that we get from the Sharabi's, the Rabbi Sharabi's yeshiva, and we'll add that in. He said, but Bracha Sim Shalom, when you come to the bracha at the end of davening. Now, if you're daven Ashkenaz, you'll have Shalom Rav. So it makes that's one of the problems with Ashkenaz. It doesn't really line up with the ARI so well. But Nusach Sfard and Sfardi, both of them, or Edis Mizrach, whatever they call it, the Sfardim, they do have this. So that Sim Shalom is going to be the bracha that you're going to say at the end of Shemona Esrei. It's always going to be Sim Shalom. So he said, B'bircha Sim Shalom, ba'osam shnei shinim, the two shinim that come here. And let's take a look at Sim Shalom. And here's a shin here, there's a shin there. So he says, B'bircha Sim Shalom, yakaben al derek ha'gavanu shal birchas ritzei. So you have the same idea that you had over there with ritzei. What do we say about Ritzei? We had the name 295, or that is a name of Elokim with a milui of Hayin, Gematria 295, and added to it the name Adni, 65, makes a Gematria 360. So he said, V'chush Yakavan Sheroshi Tevas Sim Shalom are two shins, Haim Shnei Osius Shin, and then another shin, Shin Echad Romiz the Shnei Bate Dinim. So the first shin refers to the two courts, Shehem Shem Elokim b'milui Hey, which is the name Elokim. It's a gematria 295 of the milui Hey. V'Shem Adni, which is a gematria 65. V'Shin Hasheni Romez al Mitukum. So the second shin is to tell you how they become sweetened. How do they become sweetened? Ananasa ayedei shlosha shemus teitzchar koz u'matz. Ha'olim gam kain b'gematria shin. So here's what he's telling me. He's telling me this name Yud-Kei Vavke. Now, the name Yud-Kei Vavke is pure goodness. But somewhere along the line, punishment comes in. Because why? Remember that we have the 32 Nesivas HaChachma, and we have the different names of Elokim that are in creation. Creation itself requires Elokim, because Elokims are formers, or they mold, they're molders, or they're squeezers, or they do what is necessary in order to bring about creation. And from that you could see the tzara that a woman goes through when she's pregnant and then ultimately gives birth. But there's a lot of squeezing that goes around in that whole concept, just metaphorically. So he says we're going to try to find a way to take the letters that go through this prism of switching either to the first letters, the letters before the name Yud-Kei Vavke, or the letters that come after the Yud-Kei Vavke, or the switch, the total switch of the first letters versus the last letters, etc. All of that is a way of hiding the original light of the Ein Sof, which is not usable. But on the other hand, that as we squeeze them down, more pain develops. So we're looking for a way to be able to sweeten them, and we sweeten them by changing the name Yud-Kei Vavke, and then shining the Yud-Kei Vavke through the prism of these other letters. Gam Tevas Atzman Shel Sim Shalom. So we'll see all of these words, the Sim Shalom. Shnechem Yachad Oz Begematria Shin Shin and Iskarim. So we see that there's the first two letters is also going to be these two shins, and the idea is you take one shin and sweeten the other shin with it. And it's Karn Va'od Yiseirim Shisha. So if you add, there's another extra 6. Can they get Shisha Shemus in this Karn, which corresponds to the 6 names that we mentioned. V'heim Shem, excuse me, Shem Chavaya, V'shlosha Tumuros, and then first you have Yud-Kei Vavke, then you have the 3 switches. V'heim Titlar Kozu and Matz. V'shem Elokim, V'shem Adni, add them all up, there are 6 different names. Now, let me see, I got a little lost here, so let me see what the Tiv has to say. V'vad Zeh, besides this, Yikaben Shetevas Sim Shalom, that the word itself, Sim Shalom, that those words, Gematria Shin Shin in Vav Yisera. So this comes to the same Sim Shalom, just as is actually, he says that's what it is. It comes out to be 600, 300, and what he had? 360 is 720, so that would be 720 plus 6, or 726. Vehem romazim the mituk hanizkar, and this therefore is a reference to this sweetening process that we mentioned. V'chavav nosefes, so there's a vav in there that adds on to it's not 360 and 360, but it's 360 and 366. So he said he connected Shisha, Shemos, and his karmit corresponds to the 6 names that we mentioned before. Shehem, Shem, Havaya. Achas, V'shlosha to Merasim. So first you start with Havaya, then that's 1, and then you had the 3 switches, which are Titchar, Koz, and Matz. Became Shemos Elokim Va'adni, and them all up. There were 6 of them, and that accounts for the whole sweetening process that you could do. Now let me show you that I got from the Rebbe, from the Sharabi Yeshiva. So he says like this. So first we see is Sim Shalom, Lahasim Sod. Okay, we'll skip that. Beina Mitzarim. So during the Beina Mitzarim, when you come to this, you should have this in mind. Beis Shinim Shabarosha Tevus Yakavin. So these 2 Shinim, this one and this one, that are at the beginning of these words, Yakavin Lechamisha Shemos Elu Shabagematria Beis Shinim, which are what? These 5 names. Let's see what he says. He says, here's 1, 2, 3. So Tid, Tad, and I'll start abbreviating it, and Koz, and Matz. Those 3 names, we've switched them around, and we've gone over it several times. They come to Gematria Shin Yud Nud, which is 360. Then you take these other 2 names, Aleph Lamed Bey K. This is, in other words, the name Elokim, with the Milui of Hayin. And the name Adni also comes to that name, same name. V'od Beis Tevos, then you add the words themselves, Sim Shalom, Gematria Beis Shinim. So the Gematria of these 2 together is actually 720, 360 plus 360. V'od Vav Yisrael, and but also it's 6 other, the count is 6 more than 720, 726. Beis Tevos Sim Shalom, a Gematria Beis Shinim, V'od Vav Yisrael, and the other 6, Keneged Havaya, the Gimel to Meroseihem Anal, V'alokim Deheyin V'adni. So he's going to show it to us. So first thing is you count up these names. This will give you 6 names. One is Havaya, one is the 3 switches, that's 4, and the next one is Elokim, of the Milui of Hayin, and Adni. So that makes 6 more names, and that comes to the Gematria of the whole business of Sim Shalom. So he wants to say over here, Yehubana, when you get to Sim Shalom, Gavana Kamosha Shaha'iro Havaya Zul the Gimel Chivlufim. So he said the Gavana is like this, that the Yud K Vav K is shining into these 3 babies right here. V'gam Toyer Havaya Zul al Gimel Chilufim Elokim Va'adni. So also they're also going to shine. The Havaya is going to shine into these names as well. That is the Elokim Deheyan and the Adni. Shehem Bebeis Bati Dinim, which represents 2 courts of judgment. V'yismatkul Yoser, and as a result of that, you're going to make it more and more sweet. That's the whole idea. One of the great ideas of Kabbalah is the concept of sweetening. Sweetening the dinim. Dinim are round, as I said before. Dinim are necessary for creation. But if dinim are cruel, then, of course, what was created is something bad. So what we're to do, to take the dinim that which are necessary for creation and sweeten them. This is Baruch Fleischman, and this has been the Tikkun Elevator Call Out.